Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Welcome to For the Something Podcast.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
It's a little childish and stupid, but then so is high school.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Be excellent to each other.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Get to the chopper!
There's something very important I forgot to tell you. Don't cross the street.
All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egan.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
There can be only one.
And now your hosts, Trevor Schaefer and Jerry Mullen.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 23 of 40 Something Podcast.
Yeah, we made it, we're past legal drinking age.
And, you know, we got, what, 2 more episodes to have our quarter life crisis?
Yeah.
Which is a real thing, by the way. I definitely experienced that.
Well, that could be a whole other episode.
It seriously could.
Or it could be 2 from now, and whatever, Just saying. So.
Busy. 2 weeks since we last talked here.
Yes.
Lots happened. A lot has come out. An independent film we both saw. It's an art house pick. Might not be playing around you, called Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame.
Endboard? No, Endgame, yeah.
Yes.
I always get those confused.
Which we will be talking about that in depth with spoilers, so we'll let you know before we start talking about that.
Just stop the video now. It's going to get bad in a few minutes.
No. Let's talk about other things first, and then we'll enter pure Avengers spoiler territory. And
no.
So,
all right, I guess. All right,
I will say one thing. When the final trailer came out last week for Spider-Man Far From Home, it was nice that they had Tom Holland come on the beginning and say, if you have not seen Endgame, do not watch this video.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, immediately there's spoilers. Immediately.
Yeah. Like 5 seconds into that trailer.
Yeah.
Right after it says, right after Tom Holland's done talking, it's instant spoilers.
I mean, I'm surprised there's not the only part that isn't a spoiler right in the beginning is the Marvel logo. And then spoiler. I mean.
Yeah. Boy, Marvel, all right, we have other things to talk about.
Yeah, we have other things to talk about. So what do you want to start with?
Since I can't remember, hang on.
Okay.
What else we're going to talk about? I know we had... I
know you talked about the State of Play, which I did not get a chance to watch today, but
State of Play had, again, a bunch of junk, okay? I don't know what Sony's up to here. This episode could be called State of Lame 2, but we won't do that because it's probably going to be called Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's be real here.
And everyone's going to think it's the last episode, so fuck you.
No, yeah, it's not the last episode.
No, you're not kicking us off that easy.
No. Both subscribers. State of Lame 2, or this month. I guess this is Sony's answer to Nintendo's
Direct, which is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, Nintendo does that right, and they do a lot of things right. Don't be wrong, Sony does a lot of things right too. They were smart this time, and they finished the trailer up, the State of Lame up. That's what we're calling it.
State of Lame?
State of Lame is what's going to be for now.
We can do that.
The State of Lame. They finished it with a new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer.
That, I will say, that's how they polished the turd and kind of made up for a little bit of it, because I watched the trailer and I was very surprised by a few things, and I was surprised in a good way.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
I don't really have a desire to play that game again. I've played it a couple times in my life, Final Fantasy VII, and you know what, my brother made me realize today that it's an extremely long game. You don't realize it when you're playing it because you're just...
Well, it's what, 4 discs, I believe?
Yeah, it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But you're so deep into it, you don't even realize. So, and then he says to me, he goes, Final Fantasy VII Remake's going to be 3 episodes. And I'm like,
that bullet.
Wait, that's what I said. I said, who at EA works at Square now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He goes, and that's when he threw at me, remember the original game was really long, and I'm like, but still, it's like, I mean, if I pay $60 for it, let's just say if I do buy it, and I get all 3 episodes, just
later on, yeah, okay, I could see that.
I would be good with that. That's not how it's going to go. I mean, let's stand in realism here, EA, because DLC, WB's just as bad, although they're trying to correct their Mortal Kombat flop.
I still haven't gotten my update on my Switch.
Yeah, and it is coming down. That one guy I follow, Maximilian dude, he said they are like going from PS4 to Xbox One to the Switch. So take it as, and he actually did a video on the Switch version. He said he was decently impressed with it. He goes, yeah, it isn't the PS Pro or the Xbox One X or whatever. And I have another thing about that, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Talk about the SAD.
The SAD, yeah, that was what I was going for there. The Xbox SAD.
But
what were they thinking? I mean,
well, to get back to Final Fantasy before we end up going down a rabbit hole, the one thing I was surprised, and a lot of people who are following this knew that a year ago they completely stopped development on it and they started all over again because of the play style. It was it would have been the second trailer came out. The first was a teaser at E3. Then the first trailer came out, and it was supposed to be a hack and slash, kind of like a la Devil May Cry.
Yeah, and that's what...
And everyone hated it.
I would have loved that.
So
I would have been so happy for a game to be like that.
But in this trailer, anyway, they went back to the classic battle system that Final Fantasy invented, and that's...
Yeah.
The turn-based combat.
Yeah, it is. Turn-based combat is... I hate to say it, but I'm an older guy, and I think turn-based combat in your RPGs is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now... Square and in their infinite wisdom has refined the system throughout the years. They had I think it was starting in Final Fantasy VI, and this is where I start showing my age, so just be ready. They had what was known as the active time battle system, and that's where it was real time, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like you were attacking, enemies were attacking. It wasn't just like everybody attacks and then these guys do this and these guys do that. It was real time, so to speak, if you want to take it that way. And then inevitably, me and my brother got in the argument, which is every time we talk about anything Square is, why aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine those arguments.
Yeah. Those arguments go on for a while. This was like 15 minutes. Why isn't Square using their older properties and bringing them back? We're spending all this money on a Final Fantasy VII remake, and there's 1 billion people in the world that want a Chrono Trigger sequel.
Yeah.
I'll take a 16-bit Chrono Trigger sequel.
Or a Secret of Mana sequel.
Or whatever. Yeah. Give me some. I mean, they remade Secret of Mana recently, but
can you imagine? What's that?
It's on the PS4. The remake of Secret of Mana.
Oh, they remade it? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's like a remastered it's a remake. It's like a ground up remake. But go ahead anyway.
For those hardcore deep Final Fantasy nerds, can you imagine the shitstorm that would come out if they came out with a new version of Final Fantasy Tactics?
Well, that came up too in me and my brother's conversation, and I told him, I said, but the problem with Final Fantasy Tactics is that it really only sits on the Final Fantasy name. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Because it's a real-time tactical battle game. And the problem with that is that's beyond a niche market.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to really like them. I remember playing on the Super Nintendo Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. And that was a game like that, a real-time strategy game. And for the life of me, I couldn't get it. You know what I mean? I gave it 100% too, and I played it for days. It really just kept grinding on it. And my brother just picks it up. No, go, you do this, and I'm like, motherfucker, like we fired it up on the emulator last Christmas, and he remembered his like passcode where he left off.
The hell?
I know.
I mean, there are days I literally come home and I don't remember the code to my door to get in, and I have to sit there.
How about when you're driving home and you wondered if you stopped at that stop sign?
Yeah.
That happened to you?
Yeah. Or was that light red or green? It doesn't matter.
I just go. I don't question that shit anymore. I don't. I just don't. It had to be in my head. I go, it was great. Just keep going.
Do you ever have those moments? And I know it's not an older guy thing because it happened when I was younger, where you're driving and you start thinking about something really deep, and all of a sudden you come out of it and you're like, you don't know where the hell you are, but somehow you drove there without hitting something. Yeah.
Alcohol does that too, but I mean,
that's
that
just
does.
Yeah,
that's a whole different issue.
That's why we have GPS for that shit.
Mhm.
How do I get home?
That's what I just say anymore. Not that I ever drink and drive.
Never.
But yeah. Never. Because reasons. Because children and dying. I use my GPS for simple shit because I'm afraid I'm going to end up in the wrong place.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know why. Like, I feel like I know this area real good, but then it'll take me. Then there's like, I'll get an address to go to somewhere on some street I've never heard of. And I'll be like,
well,
is.
I will say our town. Well, not our town, but like the north half of Wilkes-Barre is absolutely horrible because half the streets aren't marked.
Yes.
That's why I got a GPS when I had to do job site inspections for Lowe's, because I would have the address and I could drive past that street 5 times because there's no goddamn street sign. I don't know that's that street.
Yeah.
You know, it's like.
A case in point of that is today my niece needed a ride home from her boyfriend's house, and he lives down in Wilkes-Barre, and she gives me the address, and I'm like, where the fuck? And I'm asking myself, like, do I know where this is before I punch in the GPS? So of course not. So you turn right to the at Google Maps. You go right to that, and it takes me down. And then you get to the street. It's off of Dagobah Street. So
you must go to the Dagobah Street.
Yeah. Street Dagobah. Anyway, so I ended up getting there, but like three out of the 5 turns didn't have a sign on the street.
Yeah.
So you're going on faith.
You
know, I mean, I hope this is right, But I gotta admit, like, my Google Maps has really never failed me.
No, I will agree there. My wife uses the Apple Maps. She swears by that, and I swear by Google Maps.
Yeah. I use Apple Maps only when I want to hear the Irish voice thing that I have on. That's the only time I ever use that. It's almost like Friday. From Marvel.
Well, back in the day when I used to use the actual Garmin GPSs before we had phones and real technology, I always put on the British lady voice.
Oh, so. I used to have the British lady voice on Siri. I just like that.
So,
what else? Well, we are going to talk about. Eventually, we're going to get to our favorite scene from the MCU because now that we are through Endgame,
I'm still thinking about it because
I have 2.
Oh, okay, so we can have more than one. I thought it was
have 2.
One. Okay.
Well, actually, I have 3 to tell you the truth. I narrowed it down to 2, but I really do have a pick for it. So.
I mean, I will pick probably the scene that just always sticks in my mind when
I know what yours is. It's very easy.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not going to be wrong. Let me guess at it when we get there.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I think I know the scene you're going to pick, and it's. I guarantee it's not going to be that scene.
Okay.
If you're thinking it's the opening fight scene of the first Avengers with Black Widow when her boobs almost pop out, that's close, but that's not.
No, and you're right, but that's definitely not the one I picked.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me grab. You sent me a text.
I did, and it's a song, and don't worry about it.
No. About what to talk about. Endgame, state of play. What else? Okay, that what else?
That was it. We only had really 2.
Yeah, that fucked us. Okay, let's talk about something you and I have been wanting for years.
Oh.
And I got the email yesterday, just came out yesterday the 9th, which is a completely, I don't know if I want to call it remastered, but a completely redone version of the often overlooked classic FPS game Blood.
This game, people don't know about it.
No.
Which really drives me nuts. Like, your hardcore gamers like us,
Yes.
I mean, 90s gamers, we know about that because I don't think it was about the gameplay for Blood when we were kids or the deathmatch or whatever. It was the hilarity of the character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
he sells the
yes.
game. First, if you've never played Blood, know this up front. If you choose to buy this from Good Old Games or pirate it or whatever, get ready for a fight because
it's hard.
One fucking hard game.
Yes.
It is. I've only ever made it through the whole game once on the normal difficulty, and I refuse to ever do it again.
So, and the nice thing about this is something Jerry and I have wanted for years, and we've used third-party programs out the wazoo with DOSBox, with this service, to try to play online. And it was, what was it, 2 Christmases ago on Christmas break, you and I got the Bloodbath, which is the online, working for the first time in probably 20 years.
All right, we're saying online for you younger kids.
Okay, yes. Back in the day, this is now, kids, this is 1996. There was no thing as online gaming. You actually had to use a phone line and dial into your friend's computer, and you played over the phone lines.
Yeah.
And then when your little sister picked up the phone, you went and you kicked your little sister in the tits. Or you cunt punted her. I prefer the cunt punt. Personally.
I know you do. Yes.
But back then, obviously, it was one-on-one. And it, absolutely fantastic. Some of the boards, you and I, oh my God, know them by heart too much.
Yeah.
And...
Bodies is the one you know. Bodies is just is exactly what it goes by its name, but it's probably the most well designed one. It's made for fast combat.
Very fast.
It's made for more than 2 people to be really short, but so someday if I could get my brother to buy this, maybe the 3 of us could get it on.
Yeah, so this version actually has they got the actual source from Monolith. So those of you kids today who heard about the Lithtech engine, Monolith actually made the Lithtech engine, and this is their first game. And they actually
this is the build engine, by the way.
Yeah, this is the build engine. They got all the assets directly from Monolith, and they rebuilt it from the ground up. But it has full network play now. So now you don't need to dial in a modem. You could play co-op online. You could play Bloodbath online, and it actually has mouse look. It has a full 3D aiming system now, which anybody who's ever played a build game, if you start looking up and down, the walls go funky because they're just 2D sprites.
Yeah.
This smooths everything out in 3D. The game runs fast. You could do anti-aliasing, which I think actually made it look crappier, so I took that off. Gave me a little jaggy sometimes. But it is absolutely fantastic. And I don't know how long, but it actually is on sale this weekend for half off, which is going to cost you a Lincoln. So it's only $5. And not only that, you get both expansion packs with it too.
Oh, yeah.
So you're getting an experience where I guarantee this will take you weeks to play through. And it's hard. And you're going to hate every minute of it and enjoy it at the same time.
Yeah. You're going to love Stephen Wade? I think that's his name that voiced Caleb Wade. I can't remember the guy's name.
I heard that in that video. I never knew the guy's name. I almost want to look up other shit he's done.
But he sold it. You know, don't get me wrong. Like John St. John sold it, but he was more of a... That was more of a job for John St. John. It's like Stephen Wade, he really did.
I actually don't have any Caleb voices on here.
You could play the Angry Joe one now.
Yeah, no, I'm actually serious. Holy shit. Okay, keep talking about it. I'm going to look in the files here.
Okay. So finally, me and Trev have a way to play this without killing ourselves, which is like my favorite thing about it. We're not going to have like 6 apps running in the background and all this bullshit. How about controller support? Did you notice? Because I know you wouldn't look, but
it has controller support.
Oh man, I'm set.
I found one. On. Okay, so here's the main character.
Your bad day just got worse.
Yes. God, that guy sold it. You know what I mean?
And there's so many references from other genres and movies. Like you come out of this, you basically come out of a grave, and it has the classic line from Army of Darkness, you know, I live again. Yeah. Then the first board, there's a secret. You move a wall, and then there's an empty grave there with the gravestone that says Draven on it, which is fantastic. Yes. But there's so many one-liners.
There is. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they call the 3 build engine games, the big famous ones anyway, they call them the Holy Trinity of the 90s.
I'll agree.
And I will agree too, because they're all great games, but each one's an homage to its own genre. If you think about it, it's like, you know, Duke is your Hollywood action guy, and Blood was your horror guy, and then
Doom was Doom.
Oh no, I'm talking Shadow Warrior now.
Oh, Shadow Warrior now.
Shadow Warrior was your homage to racism, essentially. That's pretty much what that was an homage to. That was pretty bad in those, right? But Shadow Warrior in itself was a really great game. Even the remakes were good. I mean, remakes, I guess, yeah.
And actually, I do have another sound. I forgot I had this on here. One of your weapons is a flare gun. And when you shoot someone, now there's crazy monks and everything else anywhere. They just don't die. They catch on fire and they run toward you to hurt you. And this is what you hear when they're on fire.
It burns, burns.
And it's great.
It is. First time you see one of those guys catch on fire, you laugh.
Yeah.
You just gotta. You know what I mean? Like even the zombies in the game, the bloated butchers, and all those guys in the game, they all have an animation to catch on fire, except the bosses. I don't think they do, but.
I don't remember.
And if you really want to see crappy CG from the 90s,
my God.
watch the videos from Blood.
Oh, the
They're
opening
really
is painful.
shitty. I mean, they were really cool at the time. Especially the ending, the last one. I always liked that one. But it's hard to watch now. It has not aged gracefully in that little bit.
But I will say, even though you get the modern logos on it, when you first start up, you get the classic GT made out of blood that's pulsating as a heart and then blows up, and then you get the classic laser etched monolith logo.
That's good. They didn't change much.
Nope, didn't change.
I know one of the changes because we watched a review about it. Because funny enough, like right after we talked about it, there was a review up.
Yeah.
From a page I follow. But he said they added, which was actually a function it needed it, was to know how long your power ups lasted. Like that was a great feature because you didn't know. Like how long invulnerability lasts or whatever, you know.
And the other thing they added too, which is nice, is when you have your weapons, when you scroll through your weapons, it actually shows up semi-transparently on the left-hand side of your screen. All your weapons.
Like you know which ones you have.
Yeah, you don't have to know the keyboard shortcuts now. Like, okay, one is the pitchfork, 2 is the flare gun. That you could just scroll and it'll show you all your weapons. And the nice thing is too, is if you don't have ammo for that weapon, you can't select it.
See, that's how it should be.
So it doesn't fuck you when you try to get that shotgun and go click and nothing.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fastest reloading shotgun in video games. Absolutely hands down.
Yeah, when you do the alt fire and both barrels at once, yeah.
Yeah. And he's already got 2 shells back in it before you could blink.
Oh yeah.
And like, yeah, that's how it should be. So
yeah, I played through the first 2 levels today and it was just pure nostalgia and it was great.
Oh. God, I love it when it's good.
I mean, and with the mouse aiming now and the movement, it's so nice. Like, you remember the second board where you have to blow out the train. That you could just hold down the dynamite now, jump, throw, and aim it, and go. You don't have to jump into there, throw the dynamite, run out now. Yeah. It's so much nicer to do that shit.
That's fantastic.
It is.
I haven't played a first-person shooter with a mouse and a keyboard. Like in probably 15 years. It's been a long time, you know. So that's why I said I'm actually like we were talking a little bit before the show. I said I kind of got back into Windows like late 90s, early 2000 games. I was playing Serious Sam and some other games that I was really getting into, and I finally got a chance to play the Rise of the Triad remake after I played the original Rise of the Triad, or vice versa or whatever. But and like I tried my damnedest with a mouse and a keyboard to get it, and my brain was like, "This doesn't work, Jer. It's not working." So I plugged in the Xbox One controller for that because what's funny is that you don't have to do any bullshit in Windows with an Xbox One controller. Go figure.
It's like they're like made by the same company or something.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's weird.
Weird. Hairless cats. Weird. Sorry, that just.
That movie's 30 years old this year.
That movie's good. It's not as good as the original, but it is quite good. So yeah, back into those things. And you know what? I played like what else did I play? I played Rise of the Triad and Serious Sam. I started to play the Serious Sam 3 a little bit because I don't know. I just wanted to see what it looked like. If my computer could run it, even the one I'm using on it, and it could. No, I mean not awesome or anything, but it's definitely playable. But, a lot of little subtle nuances that I've used a Mac now for a few years that I kind of forgot about. Like fucking updating Windows for a week. A week!
Yeah.
We talked back and forth for at least 5 days on how many times. Fresh install of Windows 7. Okay, so we got that in. All right, do updates. 150 updates. Okay, well, we do all them. Go to bed. Restart. 75 more updates. Restart. It's going all day.
Every morning for a week after I got the kids to school, I text you, how many updates this morning?
Yeah. The highest was 157 at one given time. After a while, I was just, but my problem was that I kind of forgot about this with Windows, is that I was just hitting update all and letting it go.
You're doing all the optional updates.
All the optional updates were like language packs. Like, I don't need this. I don't need to,
I'm never going to use Windows in Bulgarian.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. I'm never going to ever use Windows in Bulgarian or any other language except like, English, the language I know. So, yeah. So once I stopped doing that, the amount of updates went down, but it was like, and I said to my brother, we were talking about it a little bit too, because I was venting on him about it. And I said, why can't I just have them all? If there's 450 updates, give me them all in order and let it go, and I'll just ignore the computer for a week. Well, some updates, he goes, well, some updates are built on others. Then have them in an order.
Yeah.
If number 2, if number 52 requires number 2,
give me 2
do
first.
it in order.
Yeah.
So that's the only part I don't miss about Windows, and it's entirety. Plus running things under administrator, I have to figure out how to turn that off. I got to get in there and figure that out. But
what do you mean?
Every time I start any app.
Oh, okay, yeah, it comes up.
It pops up. It says, "Are you sure you want whatever it is?" A fucking pop-up comes up. I have to get in there and learn how to turn that off. But
usually, you just right-click on the icon and then just click on Run as Administrator, and then it'll just open up normally after that.
All right, I'll do that.
So
it has that stupid Windows Shield on it.
Oh,
it's like a safety shield thing on it.
I don't
know how to get it off. So. Pain in the ass. So I don't mind Windows, but I mind that bullshit.
Well, the only thing I hate about Windows now, and I very rarely used Windows 7, is on both my Macs, I have Windows 10. And the Mac I'm actually recording this on is pretty much a dedicated Windows 10 machine now for various things. And if I transfer files back and forth from this computer to the NAS, it always pops up and warns me that transferring files to another drive might be dangerous. And I'm like, it's just a network drive. Why are you warning me? Yeah. I have to click OK each time to transfer the file.
That's a pain in the ass.
Somewhere I have to go in there and look it up and how the hell do I shut that off?
That sounds like a security thing you could probably disable.
Yeah. Something for people who have no clue what they're doing,
Yeah. So
these are the people that get the call from the foreigners that say their Microsoft's expired, and they whip out their card and give it to them because their Microsoft's expired.
I don't answer a phone number I don't know.
Nope. Right to voicemail.
Yeah. No, I just let it ring until it goes to voicemail on its own. I don't even decline it anymore.
Well, I got the same call. I think I was getting like 3 or 4 calls a day for a week. And finally, one night at dinner, they called. And I said, guys, come here. And I got both kids. I said, when I pick this up, scream as loud as you can. And I picked it up and I went, hello. And as the person started talking, I gave it to the kids. And they screamed as loud as they could in that guy's ear. And then I hung up. So I'm like...
Very, very nice.
I don't think that guy really deserved it, but I just reached my point at that.
Yeah, like there's a guy that calls me. And this guy, he's consistent. Mm-hmm. He's about once a month now. He'll call and ask for Karen. And I'm like... This is like, I said to him, buddy, I said, this is 5 months in a row. You've called to ask Karen, and then you've tried your selling speech, and I've blocked your number. I said, can we stop this, please? Click.
Yep.
Block his number. He'll call me back next month.
Yep, he will.
Guaranteed.
From another spoof number.
Yeah. Guaranteed that guy will call me back. Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I downloaded...
And the guy's trying to collect money for something that I probably would donate to if he sent in the mail.
Yeah.
If he sent me a letter in the mail saying, hey, we would like you to donate to such and such, I probably would. But don't call me and fake your way into a conversation. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I downloaded an app a while ago from AT&T that they have a registry of known scammer numbers. So when it comes up, it'll ring. It'll say AT&T... I don't think it says scam alert, but something alert. It'll let it ring like twice, and then it hangs up automatically.
Oh, that's nice.
And then that number is now blocked from calling you again in the app.
Yeah,
nice.
I worked with a lady who had, it doesn't matter her thing, but her Android phone, she must have had something like that built in because she would get a call when we were at work, and actually the name of the person would be scam likely.
Nice.
I loved that. I said, I kind of need that, I have so many numbers in my block list on my phone. It's there's probably a limit, and I probably can't hit it yet, but gonna soon. So.
And every once in a while, I'll pick up and I just like to fuck with them for about 15, 20 minutes and waste their time.
Yeah. No. No, I don't give them the time of day on it anymore. I refuse to. Fucking dicks. Excuse my language.
Oh,
they don't deserve.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, I don't know why. So my daughter's over there. She's got to hear that at least a little bit. So, excuse me. What I had for dinner is unfortunately repeating on me. So, I think we've hit
that time.
Yeah.
This is we're
do
half hour.
Do you want to go over my question now or after?
Okay. Is your answer in Endgame?
No.
Oh, neither is mine. Okay. So yes, we'll do probably one of our favorite moments, each of us, from the MCU thus far.
Okay.
So.
Go. I'm going to guess at yours right now.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see how close
you are. The first. It has to be in the original Iron Man.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to say it's when he makes either Mark II or Mark III. It's got to be Mark II when he first tests the Mark II.
Close.
I knew it. It was
very
one of the
close.
other.
My favorite scene is him when he's putting together the Mark II and he's watching TV. And he's watching the terrorists and he sees his weapons in the background and he's there with the arm and he's just running the screwdriver. And you see the rage, and then he gets up and just starts blasting all the glass and everything in his workshop, and then you see him get into the full suit and take off for the first time.
Wow, that's not what I expected. It is sort of what I expected, but
I
have to say it was hard for me to pick between the three things that I'm going to say. Number one is Tony creating the new element. I love that scene.
Really? I thought that was kind of just. I don't know.
I really like that scene for some reason. I think it's, it shows the not Iron Man side of Tony, that he still is a genius and he doesn't need all that. He could just do it in front of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He saw it without seeing, without handling.
And see the way they did it, I thought it was kind of lame that it was hidden in the Stark Expo.
Oh, that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, see, I thought that was kind of okay.
Another one I love is the Guardians of the Galaxy coming together with the Power Stone in their hands.
That was pretty
love
good.
that part. I think that's really great. I think it's a really, besides Groot dying, it's a really turn moment in the film where you could see they're really a team now.
Mm-hmm.
You see that moment. But my personal favorite scene in all the MCU is when the Avengers actually assemble in New York.
Oh, that famous circle scene.
Yes,
where Iron Man comes down, Hulk's there, and everything.
Yeah, they're all kind of reloading. This is what I always said. But I really like that scene. I think that's where the Chitauri finally realized that they really have a problem on their hands, and I think that just if you don't feel like a kid at that point, you're dead inside. I personally believe that.
I would say I'm going to add another entry to this. I would say the whole car chase scene. I say thing because it's not just a car chase with Nick Fury in The Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's a good scene.
That
too.
is a very good scene.
The part where he lightsabers out of the whole. That's really what happened.
And he's got the Gatling gun out of the truck, and yeah.
I really would have liked to see that car fly. Remember that had flight capabilities, and I've been watching. I was reading up on. I've obviously after seeing Endgame and all this Marvel, the craziness that's going on right now. I started reading up on just small little things, and I looked up Friday because Jarvis. You know who Jarvis is, but Friday was just his replacement. And so I looked it up, and then in the comic, Friday was actually a villain. Because he created these other, he created all these different, AIs or whatever, but Friday was modeled after a young child.
Oh, really?
He got mad that Tony wasn't using him. So she started to kind of go, I don't want to say rampant, but started to take control of his armors and stuff like that and caused them a lot of problems. That's why it's really strange that they picked this. But you know what? I think they wanted to just reach into the comics for one that people knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that somebody would know, So.
And since you had three, I'm going to throw a third one in there.
Okay.
And I just forgot it because I was listening to you about Friday. And I'm an asshole. I'm trying to think what the hell. I just came up with the third one. And fuck me.
Is it Iron Man? Because it usually is with you.
It usually is, yes. But for the life of me, I can't remember now. So we're just gonna skip that. I had a third one, and yeah, I had it and gone.
Friday.
No.
I thought maybe that would just like jog your memory.
No. I'd say one of the funnier scenes that I enjoyed was in Age of Ultron when they're having the party and they're trying to lift Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
And Cap actually moves the hammer a little bit, and Thor's face just is like, shit. Yeah.
That was awesome foreshadowing by them. Huh?
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. That's right. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I forgot spoiler
It's like
alert.
a small child.
We said it at the beginning.
What's like a small child?
I know. I'm like a kid. I want to get to it.
God. Now that's going to bother me what the hell that third scene was. I'm like, it was in my brain and now gone.
Do you remember what movie it's from?
No, I don't. See, I was
so
listening to you and your whole diatribe about Friday and it just gone.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And there is an over 40 moment for those that understand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can play Angry Joe too.
You fucked it up.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use that in my regular life.
And now I remember, because you said I use that in regular life, that it was a line in a scene from the first Avengers that I use to this day. When they're on the helicarrier and they're trying to repair the helicarrier, and Iron Man's in that turbine trying to keep it spinning, and he tells Captain America where to go to help fix it. And he goes, open the panel. And he opens a panel and goes, what do you see? He goes, it seems to run on some sort of electricity. And Tony just goes, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And I use that line all the time now. If I'll say, Jack, what do you see? Well, I think this is this. Okay, you're not wrong, but you're not there yet, but you're not wrong.
That's great.
That's my other thing.
Scene.
Yeah.
That is a great scene. I'm surprised neither one of us brought anything up for Black Panther, only because that's such a well-received film. But I don't think that stands up to the Avengers films.
I enjoy Black Panther immensely. I just don't there was no one remarkable scene that stood out to me.
Yeah.
So same thing with
any of the Thor movies except the last one.
The last one was great, but again, it was just I will say with the Thor movies, him coming down on that bridge, pissed off and full of lightning, was a good scene, but it's not as memorable as some of the other shit we were talking about.
No,
it's not something I always think about, or like that line. I don't use it all the time. And
yeah, I think Thor 3 Ragnarok or As Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
which he actually we'll get to that. Never mind.
Yep.
Never mind.
No spoilers yet.
No spoilers yet. So. Okay, so we're done with that. All right, now it's into spoiler territory.
Now it's spoiler time. We got 38 minutes in. If you have not seen Endgame yet,
shut it down.
Shut it down. We're not going to be hurt. Shut it down, because from this point on, we are going to ruin Endgame for you.
Yes.
And go.
And go.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But let me ask you this. I have a couple of drawbacks about the entire film. One,
I do too, actually.
All right. So one is the whole first chunk of the movie where they went to find Thanos.
Yeah.
Does it seem like that was like shoehorned in, or am I wrong?
I thought it happened way too quickly.
It did. Yeah. It seemed like they wanted to just quickly add that in just to show that they could do it.
It's like, we got to find Thanos. I know right where Thanos is. Okay. And then, they're like, and Rocket is like, well, when he snapped, there was this big energy surge that emanated from Earth, and we haven't seen it again until 2 days ago on this planet. It's like, why wouldn't you have pointed that out 2 days ago when you detected it? You know?
That's information we could have used yesterday.
But
another one of the problems I had with the film, and we'll get into spoilers, of course, but or in our kind of personal review about the film, is the Hulk. It was hard to watch, man.
And see, I didn't have a problem with the Hulk.
I really love the concept of Professor Hulk, and that's really what they were going for. And they've been working on this.
Yeah.
The Professor Hulk edge. They've been kind of moving.
Ragnarok, they really started touching on.
Yeah, and then, it just pushed forward from there. Yeah. But it was weird not seeing Mark Ruffalo.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, to see him turn into the Hulk, like, that's what I really wanted, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that the movie's good or bad because of that, because it's really good. But him not at least going... I mean, we saw Mark in a scene in it, when he meets the Ancient One.
Yeah, and she knocks him out.
She karate chops him out of his own body.
Yeah.
But just not... I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's how he looked or how they did it, but it just felt kind of weird. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I will say this again. That I really love the Professor Hulk angle of the Marvel comics. It's a really great idea. They should use it all the time. But in the movie, in actual film here, it just came off weird, And then I think that's about the only real heartaches I had with the film, besides the last 10 minutes. It's a little tough to chew there.
I think the thing I had, and this isn't a heartache thing, but the thing I had a hard time wrapping my brain around, and was the actual aftermath of the snap. Because after they kill Thanos, it cuts to black 5 years later. And they show you all the barges up against, the Statue of Liberty, the Mets field, Citi Field is empty, and all the cars just left. Logistically, if you're thinking about it, there's 6 billion people on the planet now. If half of them disappeared, what's to say the 2 billion people in China just disappear? Why it seemed like it was like half the people in America, half the people here, half the people there, half the people in New York. It just seemed
But all of Hawkeye's family.
Yeah, and it just seemed kind of contrived that, why is not like an entire section or an entire country just wiped out? You can't do it off a spreadsheet going, well, this population and half that population. No, Thanos wasn't running Excel on there.
8 million Smiths in the world. Half of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that
Unless
way.
one of the Infinity Stones was the Excel stone that just,
That's the one that was in his hand. You can't see that one. Yeah. Microsoft Green,
So anyway, me just being the nerd, I'm like, that doesn't work out to me math-wise. And...
Yeah. I actually had a very Judge Dredd vibe at that point when they showed the world kind of in ruin.
I was thinking more I Am Legend.
Yeah, that's true. That's an even better example, I believe.
And then and this is funny, that I thought about when Black Widow, Natasha, was making a peanut butter sandwich. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, half the people are gone. How hard is it to get peanut butter, for sandwiches and bread and everything else like that? And then they're at the support group and the guy's talking, going out to dinner. Oh, he cried at the salad. I cried at dessert. And I'm like, obviously they're doing pretty well if we still have restaurants going on serving salads and desserts. I mean,
but you have to remember too, it's 5 years later. The world has moved on with half of the people, missing, and apparently 87% of the Avengers were wiped out too. And if you didn't know, like, there's a lot of little nuances in the film that I read afterwards, obviously, that you didn't know. But everybody that was snapped out of existence at the end of Infinity War wasn't in the opening of the film. So that's pretty cool. That's a really great attention to detail. When you're the Russo, it's the Russo brothers, right?
Russo brothers,
Yeah. I was making sure I was right there. The Russos, they pay very close attention to detail, and little things like that make a film 100% better.
Yes.
Really, I was having a hard time figuring out who wasn't in the film. Like, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who were you missing?
You were missing. No, they actually had a list of people that. Because at the end, they do a credits of everybody who was in the MCU, all the major players at the credits, which I didn't stick around for because I knew there was no end credit scene. So
yeah, as soon as the credits started, we were out the door. Right?
General so and so, the guy with the beard, not the beard, the mustache. He was in Civil War. He's the one that basically told Cap he was a fugitive. He was played by William Hurt.
Oh, William Hurt.
Yeah.
You're talking about Thaddeus Ross, the general?
Yes, there you go. Ross.
He was in the end. He was in the end scene. He was one of the people at Tony's funeral, folks.
Was he at the funeral? I didn't see.
He was one of the guys at the funeral at the end.
Okay, I must have.
You had to look up who that boy was.
Yeah, which
fucking Jesus, I didn't know who he was.
Jeez.
We're scratching our heads, and we went with my aunt. My aunt actually took me. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, but she took me for my birthday to see this because that's what I asked her for. And so I come home, and my mother-in-law's here with my nephew and my kids, and my younger daughter's asleep. And I said, who is that kid at the end of? She goes, oh, that's the kid from Iron Man 3. And I'm like, how the fuck did you know that?
Well, for the first week it came out, I had to delete so many podcasts I listened to.
Oh, I know.
Because there was, Endgame, anything Endgame. I actually knew about the little boy. I didn't know who he was, but there was actually articles coming up. Who's the boy at the end of Endgame? Thank God they didn't use the F word for funeral. But I'm like, avoid it. But as soon as we got out to the car, okay, now I want to look this shit up. And I found out, which, big spoiler, Iron Man dies. Tony Stark dies, saving everybody else.
Yep.
So if you're wondering why we're talking funeral.
After the third snap on Earth, he saves everybody.
But
he got a little crazy with that,
Yeah. It went out. He went out awesomely, though.
He did. He went out a hero. He really did. But
that was probably one of my favorite exchanges in the whole movie. Where if I'm jumping too far ahead, let me know if you want to go chronologically through the movie.
It's okay. We could just talk about any part of it. It's fine.
That
I'm not picking...
when Thanos has the gauntlet, which ironically Tony Stark made the gauntlet at that point. But when he goes, I am inevitable, and snaps, and nothing happens, and then you see Tony Stark there with the stones, and he goes, I am Iron Man. Yeah. And then just turns Thanos and his army to dust. That was fantastic.
One of my, actually, because there's a ton of, like we said, a lot of things about attention to detail. But one of my personal favorite scenes is when Thanos' ship is firing on the Earth, and then all of a sudden it stops. It's firing into space.
Yep.
And you're like, what the shit? And then Kelly's like, what's going on? And I said, it's Captain Marvel about to come in and kick some real ass.
Yeah.
She was in the movie, 6 minutes, if you're lucky?
And I did read a good article about that with the character that powerful going with the Avengers, who, for all intents and purposes, don't have really any huge powers. You could literally write the entire movie and have Captain Marvel end the movie in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that she's that powerful that they had to be careful how they used her, because with a super being like that, I mean, the only way Thanos stopped her was by taking out the Power Stone and punching her with the Power Stone.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
And it didn't even knock her out. It just knocked her away. So, yeah.
I liked, of course, I went to the movie with 3 women. So the all-girl...
Yes, I actually enjoyed that, and I'm a man.
I really did. I think that was really great. Because they had to shoehorn the Wasp in somehow. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. They had to sneak her in there somehow. But overall, I think you really got to see about, I'd say 99.9% of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all the stuff that it entails.
Yes.
The time travel story, there's plot holes aplenty. We could have 3 shows on that.
I do have an issue with that, and my wife was asking me questions, and I asked her to stop asking me the questions, because and this is going to sound stupid, they invented a new way to look at time travel.
They did.
Because time travel has been a sci-fi staple forever, and everyone's kind of built on the same premise of what time travel is and the repercussions of it. And pretty much in this movie, they went, no, that's all bullshit. This is how it really works. And it hurt my brain.
Hey, Doctor Who did.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Except because Doctor Who can't go back in his own timeline.
Yeah.
But they did, on purpose.
But I understand that, but, Doctor Who has gone back in his own timeline.
Yes, he has broken that rule.
He has broken that rule.
Yeah.
For his own gain, too.
Yeah. So
I still have to finish till season 11. I have yet to do that,
but the whole time heist scene was really kind of a fun thing.
it was.
That line, that is America's ass.
Yeah.
that
was my favorite scene in the whole film was Captain America fighting Captain America.
Yeah.
That's a really great part. I think.
Holy shit! Is someone being murdered in your house?
It's the dog and my daughter playing. But another really good scene, of course, a lot of great scenes with Chris Evans. I got to admit, they really kind of shined him into the film hard. Was the Hail Hydra scene?
Yes.
In the elevator.
Yeah.
That was awesome because that's a really good throwback to the comic, and it's a really good throwback to the Winter Soldier, which that was almost the same scene. And all that. And
I thought we were going to get the same exact scene where same glass elevator type that, okay, he's just going to take them all out. And that would have been awesome.
What did he say in that scene before we start? Does anybody want to get out?
Yeah.
Only Captain America could say that.
Yeah.
In that context. It's like when Spider-Man said in Civil War, he goes, "Your shield doesn't obey the laws of physics." It's true, it really doesn't, but it's because of reasons.
What they did, the one part of the story I did not like, which I think for me kind of ruined it a little bit, was the whole storyline they did with the two nebulas.
Yeah.
That to me kind of ruined it because it's like, I understand that obviously they're robotic. Yes, they are there in the same universe in different times, but the fact that the current one can read the mind of the future one that's there, that was kind of a little weak.
About, and another problem with her was, how come she didn't die when she died?
Yes.
A lot of people had a problem with that, but then they threw in the old, well, that's not how time travel works, and then it's all forgiven. We're just forgiven on that,
And at the end, I can't understand if Gamora's alive or dead, because when the Guardians go back on the ship, he's scanning for Gamora. Star-Lord is, and Gamora isn't there. Is she dead? Did she survive the battle? I don't know.
That is really the real question I had walking out of the film is watching everything, because I really didn't think about the time travel piece until I was on my way home. Was where the fuck did Loki go?
Loki was dead. He got killed in Infinity War.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But in the
scene, you mean with the Tesseract?
Yeah. Where did Loki go?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to affect everything down the road. Again, this is where you get brain freeze.
Yeah. Well, they say that that's going to lead up to, because that guy's going to get his own show about Loki on Disney Plus, I guess. And they say that's going to lead to that. That's what people are saying, which I can understand that.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to write it in.
Let's see.
I think they could have shoehorned Odin into it for a couple of seconds, at least. That was one character that didn't show up.
Yeah, but I think they went with the right choice by using Thor's mother instead.
Yeah, because, man, she's still good looking, too.
She is.
She is. I have to admit.
Yeah.
Renee Russo, still good looking.
No, I think they made a better thing because, as much as we want to forget about Thor the Dark World, they brought her in and then they, killed her off pretty quick. You didn't get a lot of...
You didn't get to get attached to her.
Yeah. And the fact that, she knew that he was from the future and that wasn't really him, that was kind of nice. And, he wanted to tell her that she was going to die that day. And she's like, no, don't. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think any of the crap that the movie had problems with up until about that point it had redemption when Cap threw the hammer.
Yes, that
everything in the film was okay at that point, because I was an 8-year-old boy again.
Yes,
we're like, holy crap, because somebody else has the hammer.
Before
they trade hammers, that's really funny. That was really good.
I've been in very few movies where people have actually come out and cheered during a movie.
Oh, when we were there, they did.
And that scene where Thanos is about to put Stormbreaker through his chest, and you see the hammer wavering, and you're like, oh, he's going to call the hammer. And the hammer just takes off, and you just see Captain America with the hammer. There are people just, yeah!
I'm telling you,
and even me inside, I'm like
yeah. This. Yes, absolutely.
And that whole scene where Cap uses the hammer and just keeps batting the shield against Thanos was fantastic.
Yes.
And then
they really hit like every angle there that they could.
And the thing I was shocked is they let him wield the lightning from the hammer too. That was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really how that works.
I don't think it is because they kind of said it didn't in Ragnarok, but reasons.
Yeah, because I typed it on a paper and that's why you're gonna fucking film it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
And no one's gonna complain because that entire part was awesome. I mean,
I know I found out later too. I don't know we're jumping all over this film, but if
I just want to stop 1 second here.
Yeah.
Because I could not say it earlier. That scene is my number 2 favorite in the MCU. Is when the hammer goes to Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
I could not say it before, but yeah, that's my second favorite scene in the MCU now.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
I have to say that it was a great way to really give the character a near the end of the film send off. You know what I mean? It was like I didn't really foresee the ending happening to Cap. I didn't read anything.
I didn't see that happening. My wife did. She said she saw it happening, but
you know, like you knew throughout the films, like you knew he really loved Peggy Carter.
Oh yeah,
he really did, and they did their best to try to make that happen. Now, if Peggy Carter the TV show didn't get canceled, that probably would have happened a lot of time ago. But I think one of the better scenes in the film is Tony meeting his father.
That was interesting. That was.
It made me wonder, like, how fucking old is Tony?
Well, my wife actually, she had an issue with that because when Tony asks his dad how far along his mom is technically, and this is 1970, my wife is arguing Tony has a sibling because Tony Stark, there's no way that he was born in 1970. And I'm like, well, that only puts him 7 years older than me, which puts him right around 49. And she's like, I don't think that was Tony. I think that was another sibling. To which I'm like, I don't know. I can't answer yes or no. Sorry. If that's what they're planning, if they're going to bring something into that way.
I don't remember Tony Stark having a sister.
No, neither do I. But it was just, she's arguing that point, and I honestly don't have
I'm not going to lie.
It
came into my mind first on.
Yeah.
I'm like, does Tony have a brother or sister? And I'm sitting there in the theater like, and now I realize I'm not watching the film for 30 seconds because I'm spending more time thinking about that. So I immediately just moved on, and I said, boy, I would have remembered. There would have been a villain. It would have had to have been a villain in the long run.
Because the fact that Tony asked that, I mean, him and Cap, when they're in New York figuring out where to go back to, they had to know pretty much very close to the exact date they were going back. Yeah. So I know when my birthday is. So if I go back in August, I'm going to know I wasn't born until another 2 months.
Yeah.
You would think he would know that, his own freaking birthday, for as smart as he is.
But of course they were trying to target a time when the objects they needed weren't playing their part in history, if that makes any sense. You know
guess,
what I mean? Like, you know? So, I don't know. It's tough to get... So...
There are some plot holes. Let's be honest.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
But they're not worth arguing because the film overall is really good.
It is, and I think that's the problem with the film overall. Is it's so good and there's so much. It's like
it's sensory overload.
It is. I mean, I walked out of that theater and the first thing I said to my wife was, "Wow." I mean, that was 3 hours of just information overload. And and especially the scene where Doctor Strange and the monks bring everybody back through the portals. I mean, you're literally looking everywhere on the screen to try to catch everybody who's coming into this huge battlefield.
Yeah. Somebody had to tell me the Ravagers were on there. Really? I didn't notice that at first. Because I was like, where's Black Panther and his army and all the I guess all of Doctor Strange's people, they were there too, I guess, even though they're not really.
Well, they're the ones that were creating all the portals.
Yeah, but like if you've seen Doctor Strange, there aren't many of them.
No.
So how'd that work out? Who knows?
I do wish we saw a little bit more of Doctor Strange.
I agree.
So,
He was severely underused
yes.
in the film.
Except he had that one pivotal moment because Tony asked, you saw this outcome 14 million times. You said we had one shot. Is this it? And Doctor Strange goes, if I tell you that, it's not going to happen. And when Doctor Strange is holding back all that water and Tony has to make that decision, like, am I going to sacrifice myself? And Strange just holds up that finger. And it's like, you knew right then. It's like, this is it. This is the moment.
Yep.
Whatever it takes,
I did not see Black Widow dying.
I did not either.
I really thought they were going to knock Hawkeye off. I really did.
And I would have been, and my wife and I agree, we both would have been upset with that he went dark just because of the grief of his family. Mm-hmm. That this whole thing was to bring everybody back, and for him not to be with his family just would have been a waste.
Yeah.
So
I think, but I think I think in the opposite though, I think it really does hit harder that she died. She was really like the glue of the team. She was the mother figure. She kept everybody in check. She was also probably, I'm going to let that go. She wasn't as smart. But she was the best looking. I mean, we have to agree on that.
Yeah. And I thought it was really heartfelt, and at the end it really kind of kicked me in the nads, is the fact that in those 5 years Tony and Pepper had a daughter.
Yes.
Which I thought was fantastic, but at the end, and I think it hit me a little harder because Tony's daughter is almost the exact same age as my daughter is. Mm-hmm. And just at the end there where she's with Happy and he's like, what do you want to do, kid? And she goes, I want a cheeseburger. And to see like Happy starting to cry, it's like, your dad liked cheeseburgers too. That was rough. I think those scenes at the end there were rougher than actually watching Tony die.
Yes. Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
It was hard because I remember looking at Kelly and right after his snap, and I'm like, he's going to die. And she goes,
yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, we all knew Captain America was done because Chris Evans said he's done with the character.
Yeah.
So I was expecting Cap to die. That scene where Thanos just pretty much slashes his shield apart and Cap can't get up off the ground. I'm like, oh, okay, this is where Cap dies.
Yeah.
I never saw Stark dying. Didn't even see it coming.
No, I can definitely say I didn't.
Yeah. Which is brilliant. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant because nobody saw that coming, I think. So
I just, it was like, we'll talk about one other thing. We're going to talk about this a lot more, obviously, but
yeah,
spoilers about this were so hard to avoid.
It was, yes.
It was a job.
It was.
I really didn't read my Twitter feed at all. I had to skip that. Facebook was very difficult. YouTube. Yeah. Thankfully, most YouTube videos have spoilers in the title, so you don't watch it,
Well, my son came to me the weekend it opened, and he goes, Dad, I know how Endgame ends. I said, don't do it. He goes, you want to know a spoiler? And I literally looked at him and I said, for each syllable you utter after those words, you lose a week of internet. And I got to give him credit. He did not say anything until we came home from the movie. And he goes, Iron Man died. I said, yes, he did. He goes, that's what I was going to tell you. And I'm like, I would have killed you if you told me that. Because that would have ruined the entire movie for me. Because
it would have.
You'd be waiting for it. Okay, is he going to die here? Is he going to die there? Is he going to die here? Which I was kind of doing with Captain America anyway. But it's like, don't kill off probably my favorite MCU character before I even get to the theater. At least let me watch the story, then kill him off.
Yes. I was wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's so much about it. Like, it burns my brain a little bit to think about all the scenes and all the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they managed to shoehorn nearly every character in.
Yeah.
And seal up a lot of, well, actually, they created more problems than they closed.
The scene was fun when they kept passing the gauntlet to each other to keep it away from Thanos. So.
Yeah, that's when the all-girl army showed up. That's when that kind of started. And then, Spider-Man had it for a while, and then...
I love that line when Captain Marvel comes over. Hey, kid, you got something for me? And he's like, yeah, here.
Yeah, take it. I mean, she could have put it on and...
She could have taken it into orbit.
Yeah.
She's too powerful. She can't be in an Avengers movie. She has to stay cosmic.
Yeah, and that's what they did with her, essentially. They just had, and one of the biggest, first plot hole I found in the film was, how'd she know where Tony was? Drifting into space.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I was bad. I probably should have watched Infinity War, because when that scene came up and they're on the ship, my wife leans over and she goes, how did they get on the ship? And I just kind of went, I don't remember. I mean, I honestly did not remember how they got on the ship.
Yeah.
So
how about when they're like, he's trying to normalize her?
Oh, Nebula?
Ship, yeah, Nebula. And they're playing like paper football. And
yeah.
That's one of the better scenes.
The one thing I am glad is because we bought tickets almost a week in advance, that we knew we had to plug some holes. And the only two movies we hadn't seen at that point was Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel. We never got to Captain Marvel, but I'm so glad we got to Ant-Man and the Wasp, because we would have been totally lost with the whole quantum tunneling thing if we did not watch that movie. So
yeah.
Really glad we watched that movie beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you knew they wrote it correctly, so to speak.
Because the after credits scene, when he's stuck in the quantum realm, and they go and you just see Pym, his wife, and trying to remember the Wasp's first name. I don't remember.
Let's just call her the Wasp.
Evangeline Lilly. We'll call her
Yeah.
Kate from Lost.
Yeah.
So, and they're just, you just see the ashes there, and that was like, okay, that was the snap.
Yeah.
Now you kind of know where in the timeline is, which fit perfectly when you see the van in storage. So
5 years later.
And they
answered that nicely.
Yes.
That time in the quantum realm is a little different.
Yeah, because they did say that this would answer why Hawkeye and Ant-Man weren't in Infinity War, which they were under house arrest. Which, they're normal humans. Okay, they got caught.
Yeah.
But
by the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he had his ankle monitor removed.
Oh, yeah, he was off. Yeah.
Yeah. Clint wasn't. He
No.
was still under house arrest when it came down to it.
Like that would stop him.
Yeah. He'd just probably bow and arrow it. He'd be like, So, overall, we'll do the 1 out of 10 rating on the film.
Overall, I have to give it honestly a 9.5. Not a perfect 10. Too many plot holes. The whole time travel thing doesn't make sense to my little human-sized brain. But yes, it is. I tried to watch it again today. I just ran out of time. I got about a quarter of the way through it. I mean, it's an investment. It's a serious investment.
Oh, it is.
But I will watch it probably multiple times, just probably not in 1 3-hour chunk.
No. I think the time I saw it in the theater will be the only time I sit down and watch it in a whole. Because at home, at least I could pause it, piss.
Yes. I didn't have to take a piss break, but we went to Cinemark, and you had those nice leather recliners. Well, after 3 hours, I just wanted to stand up and stretch my legs. I mean, I just kept moving my legs and trying to move in the seat, and the theater was packed. I mean, it was absolutely packed. So you really can't even lean over to another seat or something to move your shoulders. It was just, I will definitely watch it again. But like you said, okay, I'm going to have lunch now. Let's watch 45 minutes of it and watch it in
exactly
chunks
what I'm
like
gonna
that.
do.
Yeah.
Because I don't have 3 hours at a movie theater in me anymore. I do. I got through that. That might have been the last one. I might have snapped my finger and that'd have been it. But
I saw Braveheart twice, and I don't know how the hell I sat through Braveheart twice.
Yeah.
And those were the shitty mall seats, that no stadium seating and no padding and
no leather recliners.
Yeah.
Everything smelled like beer, piss, and leftover popcorn.
And I know you make fun of me for going to Cinemark with the recliners, but I like the fact that
that's where I saw it.
Oh, but
that's where I went.
It's not so much for the recliners. I like the fact that you have to choose 2 seats. So my wife and I are always guaranteed to sit together no matter what.
Yeah.
I love that. And you could pick. I always like to be in the middle. I don't like to be on the row or anything else.
I don't mind being on the end, actually, because it's easier, when I have the kids.
Yeah.
It's easier to be near the end so they could use the bathroom and not. But really, at Cinemark, when you have to leave the theater, use the bathroom, or for whatever reason, you don't really interrupt anybody.
No, you don't, because they spaced it out fantastically.
Yeah. It's not like you're excuse me,
Yeah.
going all the way down the road. You're not. You just get up and walk out.
Yeah.
But Anyway.
Okay, so I gave it a 9.5. What would you give it?
I'm just gonna piggyback on you and say 9.5 for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of plot holes. Too many, truthfully. For this could be another hour and a half show of us dissecting the plot holes of Avengers.
Let's not get into that. Let's not do that.
Let's not YouTube show it.
Yeah.
Oh, YouTube show.
No.
I think it seals up most of the MCU up to this point.
This was the end of Phase 3.
Yeah, and it's leading right into Far From Home.
Yeah.
It's going to walk right into it. So 9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to say something bold here. I don't believe, and this is not coming personally, this is coming objectively. While I give it a 9.5, I don't think it's the best MCU movie.
No.
But it's a must watch. You have to watch, even if you've never seen any of the MCU movies, if you watch Infinity War and then Endgame, you'll get a culmination of the last 11 years of the universe, a little bit of each thing that you won't be totally lost.
Yeah. I can happily say I've seen all but 2 of the MCU movies in the theaters.
I've seen, not in the theaters, I've seen every MCU movie except for 2.
I've seen them all, but I saw all but 2 in the theaters.
Yeah. I haven't seen the original Thor, which everyone tells me don't waste my time on.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
And then Captain Marvel, which I have access to. I just haven't got a chance to sit down and watch it.
Captain Marvel's good.
So,
should have your daughter watch it with you. Very girl powery.
My daughter can't do that.
Why?
When she's home, she's at the official YouTube age where she's addicted to YouTube, but she won't watch a whole YouTube video. She'll throw on like a 20-minute toy review, and then 10 minutes into it, she'll swipe down and pick another video. And
okay,
because
I understand.
She's coloring, she's playing at the same time. That if we took her to the theater, it'd be a different thing. She does great in the theater. Because I think next weekend we're going to take the kids to go see Detective Pikachu. That she'll have no problem sitting through that. But come on,
that movie looks stupid.
Oh,
it looks stupid.
I know the kids love Pokemon, and it's Ryan Reynolds.
I know, but it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
So, all right, enough about that. So overall, I'll definitely give it another watch or 2.
Yes. Yes.
Going forward, but
ironically, I would watch this more than Infinity War.
Actually, the one I would watch out of all the Avengers, we'll just say the Avengers films.
Yeah.
Is I could watch Age of Ultron all the time.
Me too, and everyone hated that movie. I thought it was
that
great.
Movie.
James Spader being the villain, it was just fantastic. I mean, when he first steps out all in pieces and was putting himself together, I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
The ending was weak.
I think that
but
in terms of entertainment, let's just say it that way, because I think that's going to be easy. Age of Ultron's the most entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just agree to disagree on that one.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying entertaining, yes. The whole raising Sokovia above.
I love that part.
That was a little much.
Yeah, I love that part. That's like my favorite scene. That's one of my favorite YouTube videos to watch. I watch it all the time. Not all the time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think, and I have to go back and watch the scene. They said it in Age of Ultron, haters, whatever you're going to do, hate. But in the scene where Scarlet Witch goes into Tony Stark's head, apparently when you see Captain America's shield broken, it's in the same position he was laying in Endgame, and the position you see Black Widow dead in his vision is the same exact position that she was dead in trying to get the Soul Stone.
I have to look this up when we're done.
Yes.
Must know.
This was on that IMDb article I sent you with all the trivia, that apparently those two people, they replicated how they were laying dead from Tony's vision to Endgame, which I thought was interesting. If it's true, I have not verified it yet, but if it's true.
Well, I can definitely verify that Howard the Duck was in the final battle.
And I could verify for you, which confused the hell out of me to the end, is at Tony's funeral when you see Nick Fury on the porch, in the glass, you could see a guy holding Captain America's shield, which we find out at the end is Captain America. I'm assuming he was in the house, and that's why no one saw him to the end when he was sitting on that bench by the lake. Which, that's another thing I have a small issue with.
I knew it.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so they float the flowers out with the first mini arc reactor from the first movie saying, proof Tony Stark has a heart.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do with Tony Stark's body? It wasn't on that float because you can't cremate someone and put him on a little raft. It's going to sink. Is he buried somewhere? Is he cremated?
I'm going to imagine that Tony was cremated.
I'm just saying, where is he?
Yeah.
And for as being as smart as Tony Stark is, the fact that he made the recording, which again broke my heart, for his daughter and Pepper before they went into the time travel, the time heist, just in case it didn't work. You can't tell me Tony, with all that, didn't upload a bit of his consciousness somewhere.
All right, now you're getting Age of Ultron again.
I am, but you can't tell me he didn't do some shit like that.
No, I can't say that he didn't, but we can't say that he did.
No,
either.
but I'm thinking that would be very arrogant and self-centered, like Tony Stark is.
No Jarvis.
And Jarvis, I was surprised because I never I'll be honest, I'd never read Marvel Comics. I was always a DC guy. And I never watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the
Peggy
Captain Carter. Yeah. So it was a shock to me that Jarvis was his dad's driver. Yeah, that's where he got the name from. I was absolutely like, wow, okay, that was cool. But that was just my ignorance, which was fun.
That I did know because that's attached to the Friday article that I read. So,
but apparently, I guess in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or was the Peggy Carter that Jarvis was a recurring character?
That's Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter, yeah.
I've watched all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's not in that. So,
but I thought that was really cool.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s a good watch if you ever want to.
Is it?
Oh yeah. You could see when, because that definitely collided right when the Avengers films were happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that happens post New York.
I know they did like a few crossover things that kind of tied the storyline into the movies.
Samuel L. Jackson starred in an episode of it. He wasn't in it that long, but he was there. Colby Smulders, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She was in an episode or two. Damn, she's hot. Anyway, excuse me a sec.
Oh, nice catch.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I've been fighting it for a while, but I finally had to let it go. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s a good watch. It gets a little... The last season that was on, which was like they're in the future in space, was a little tough to chew.
Oh, boy.
But it was pretty interesting. But the season before that is really deep, especially in the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anything about the comic book, like the life model decoys and stuff, that was all very interesting.
Okay. Now we're going to get on a separate subject, semi-related to Endgame.
All right.
Obviously, we had a bunch of geek, sci-fi, nerd-oriented trailers before Endgame. Mm-hmm. What do you think of Dark Phoenix?
I think that looks terrible.
Really?
Yes.
I know it's not true to the comics.
I think that they cannot redeem any more X-Men movies. They can't save it. You can't save it. Okay? You don't have Hugh Jackman anymore to come in and do a cameo and push up sales. You don't have him.
Oh,
he's done.
You can't tell. I know he said he's done, but
I know if they back a truckload of money up to his house, he'll do it. He will. Just saying because he's out.
Patrick Stewart also said he was done with Picard, and now he's filming a Picard series.
Yeah, what? 20 years later?
It's in real time, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
20
anyway.
years.
But I think that you cannot save the X-Men universe. What it needs is the snap, and we're still back over at this point. X-Men movies have been going downhill since X2.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past wasn't bad.
No.
So it wasn't horrible.
X-Men Origins was a little tough to chew.
I still enjoy that, actually. I'll be honest. I'm one of the few people, except when it comes to Deadpool at the end. then I throw up and I go to bed.
Stop right before he shows up, and then you'll be done.
The trick is, when you know you're coming to Deadpool, you just start doing the shots as quick as possible, so you don't remember that part.
I like the part where Ryan Reynolds or Deadpool shoots Deadpool at the end of Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's really great. So
I will
just
say,
cleaning up the timeline, and he shoots him like 7 times.
I like seeing Gambit. That's another reason I like the origin movie.
I know, me too. But you know what? He's a severely underused character. Like most good X-Men, they're underused.
Yeah.
They focus on the ones that were big-ish.
Ish, yeah, I'll agree with Ish.
I'm sorry, but I love in X3 when Cyclops dies. That's my favorite fucking scene. I'm sorry, I hate him.
It wouldn't be because of my ex, would it? That knowing that she cried during that scene.
I like the concept of Cyclops, but he just started to suck in the films. Like by the end of the first one, he was annoying, and you get into the second one, he was really annoying. Mm-hmm. And then he died in the beginning of the third one. I'm like, I was actually like this. Like, yes.
And I think it's funny that we had Colossus in 2 of the X-Men films, and the best Colossus ever is in Deadpool movies.
Yes.
I mean, it's weird how that happens.
Severely underused X-Men.
Yes. The hell?
I think my daughter's taking.
And then, of course, we came home and we looked up, the future of the MCU. And the one thing I'm pissed about is they still haven't have a confirmed production date for Doctor Strange 2.
Well, yeah.
They haven't.
I think they're going to start filming these Black Widow movie.
They are. She's getting $15 million, which good for her for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Which, obviously, we now know it's going to be a prequel. So,
yeah.
And my wife funnily said something, and I had to, I hate people who talk in theaters, but I had to lean in and say something to her when Hawkeye and Black Widow go to get the Soul Stone, and they're jumping in the ship, and they laugh and are like, "Hey, we're a long way from Budapest." And my wife leans over, she goes, "What is it with them in Budapest?" And I just kind of lean over, I'm like, "We're going to find out in the Black Widow film. That's probably where they met for the first time." And she's like, "Oh." I'm like, we don't know what that is, but I guarantee we're going to see it in the Black Widow movie.
And it's a recurring thing throughout the film.
It is with them, yeah.
It is. And they really do reference it a lot.
Yeah.
But... Oh, excuse me.
I thought it was cute in the beginning of Hawkeye grooming his daughter to be another Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see.
Only for her to go...
Yeah. And the fact that they had the kid from Iron Man 3 in there, I think that's a setup for him to possibly take on the new mantle of Iron Man.
Remember, the Iron Man right now is a girl.
Yeah, but it's only been a girl for about 3 years. So, I mean, hey, in the not close to home, but in the next movie, we could have Miles Morales as Spider-Man. It's all there.
You're right.
Damn it, I'm out of water.
I am too, almost. I'd hate to ask this question because I never do, but how are we doing on time?
We got an hour and 22 minutes.
Oh, we could go right to the picks and actually be okay.
Yeah, I think we can. So I think we could probably do 5 more episodes on Endgame, breaking it down scene by scene, but we're not. I think we hit all. Yeah, I think we hit all the pretty big points here. Uh-oh.
I wish I could tell you what it was, but it just is so I can't.
Oh, it's got something with the wife.
It is. You're right.
Did she flash you?
More or less. As you can see.
Oh, there you go. Nice catching the shirt.
Yeah. I have to go. No.
Turn the camera.
Oh. He told me to turn the camera. I'm like, oh, I wish I could. All right. I do have to sleep with her,
you make it sound like a chore.
No. All right, so let's
save Jerry from the striptease he's apparently getting right now.
I am.
Your eyes are about to pop out of their sockets, by the way.
I'm telling you, they might disconnect like a Mortal Kombat brutality.
I think you're sweating a little bit there, buddy.
I have been. You made me turn the fan off because it was background. I really just want to brutality. Brutality, if there ever was one. Right here.
We'll just cut the episode right here. Jerry, go.
What would you do if I had hung up?
I would understand. Oh.
Over 40 moment, peeps.
Over
Right
40,
there.
you get it when you can. No missed opportunities.
See, I can always tell sometimes when you probably are is when I don't get a response from you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like if we're having a really good conversation and then all of a sudden I don't get a response for like an hour, I'm like, yeah, probably.
That's why we didn't talk last night.
Yeah. Love that.
Exactly.
All right, so we got we're gonna do the YouTube picks.
Yeah, let's do some YouTube picks.
All right, I'll start with mine. And I sent Trev a link to this guy's page, and I have to find it because I want to make sure I say the name right. It's GManLives. This guy's whole channel is first-person shooters. He's actually the one that we said earlier who already had a review up for Blood Fresh Supply.
Mm-hmm.
But all his videos are first-person shooters, and he's not. It's mods and real games and so on and so forth. But his reviews are decently in-depth, a little funny. He's got little jokes in there, which is really good. But he does the diligence on it. And that's what I really like about it. Like when I know a first-person shooter's coming out, I tend to see if his review is good or bad. If it's bad, this is almost like my Angry Joe for shooters. If he gives it a good review, then I'm probably going to get it now. I do go to a couple other people. I can be honest about that. But he just recently did a complete review of the Duke Nukem series in the overall, from the original Duke Nukem 1 all the way up to, have a good night, honey, all the way up through Forever. And it includes like the PS1 games and
I am now subscribed.
Yes, there you go. The PS1 games, the N64 versions, and all that. He goes over all of that in that review, which is really, really, really is really a good watch. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of videos on the channel. He goes into retro mods, and he did a video on Blood. It was funny we talking about Blood, but it was like with Blood Reborn. I think it was one of the. I forget what it was. There was a couple of versions of where people tried to redo Blood themselves. Blood GDX. And stuff like that. He went over all of them in one video, which was really good. I almost did Blood GDX to see what it was like, but now that this is out, I won't need to even bother.
Get the real thing.
Yeah, get the real thing. It's a lot simpler and safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, GManLives. It used to be GManLives. I think he changed it when he had an opportunity. But it's GManLives. Yeah, it's a great channel. If you're like first person shooters. And I know a lot of people. I know. We talk about. We're always making fun of Call of Duty and stuff like that, but he does review them. Trevor, it's been a long time since I played Call of Duty. Since I refused to play Black Ops 4. I'm really kind of.
You're clean now.
Clean now. Well, I replaced that with Serious Sam and Rise of the Triad. So, all right, go ahead.
So mine is actually not a channel. It's actually a single video. Let me get this right. The channel's called FXitinPost. FXITN, the letter N, post. Actually, no, I take that back. It actually does have the IN. Wow, I just can't read. Anyway, the video is called Star Wars SC38 Reimagined. And this was a video that was put out about a year to a year and a half ago, which was a teaser of they reimagined the scene in A New Hope where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader face off, but they did it in the style that we've come to expect now from Jedi fights, which is fast-paced, using the Force. Because if you look at that scene now, it's kind of laughable, especially after seeing the Anakin Obi-Wan battle in whatever that one was called, Revenge of the Sith. So this one, actually, it's the completed video. It just came out 2 days ago. And not only did they expand upon the fight, they very cleanly edited into the actual film of where it should be. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool to see this kick-ass lightsaber battle. I mean, fast-paced, using the Force, throwing shit at each other, cut in almost seamlessly with the original footage from, A New Hope of Han, Chewie, Leia, 3PO, everybody's in there like they should. And I just thought it was really well done. And really, I mean, I almost wish, as much as I hate, the special editions, it'd be fun if they did put something like that in there just to keep the continuity. That it'd be cool. And it'd
be nice if they just added that into the film.
Yeah, because a couple scenes. I mean, the one thing that saved them, I think, was if you remember, right before he fights Darth Vader, Obi-Wan puts up his hood. That they were able to use an actor that you couldn't see his face a lot of times, but there is a few scenes where they actually did put Alec Guinness's face on this actor, so you could, it wasn't just a faceless actor, and it was really, really well done.
Yeah, I got to admit that was a really neat watch when I first seen it. And I watched it a few times since.
Yep,
me and Kelly sat down and watched it,
and it's got 3.3 million views in 2 days. So it's well worth it.
Okay, I do have to say one more thing. Post Avengers,
yes,
it dethroned Titanic.
It made $1.2 billion. That's B with a billion like boobs in its first weekend.
Yes,
it instantly became the 5th highest grossing movie of all time, and it shattered pre-sale records. Let's just say, on a whim, my wife goes on Sunday. She goes, I wish we could see the Avengers this weekend. Now, the Cinemark that's here, they were showing the Avengers from 7:30 in the morning to almost midnight, Saturday and Sunday. I could not find a single showing at any one of those times with 2 seats together. That's how crazy. I'm like, these tickets have been on sale for over a month. What am I thinking trying to get them for opening weekend?
Oh, I gotcha.
So we got it for the following weekend, but it's like, yeah, it's making so much money. It's disgusting, and it deserves every dollar it makes.
It does. It does. Now, will it dethrone
Avatar? I think it will.
I hope it does.
I really, really think it will.
God, I hope it does. I'm sick of seeing that on that list. just a personal thing.
Get the Smurfs off the list.
Yeah. And there's like 5 more Avatar movies coming out.
No one's asking for them. Why is he doing this?
Who wants them?
I know.
And a bunch of other Star Wars films. What are you going to do after Episode 9?
They just announced another trilogy in 2022, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought we were done with this.
Yeah. I want to be done with it.
Yeah.
And I'll...
Okay, we can talk about Star Wars in another one, because that's going to be a whole issue.
Yes.
Yes. So
I'm concerned about that next film, but
let's just say I'm concerned about the title and what it implies.
You're thinking like Kelly.
What do you mean?
Kelly assumes that somebody there is going to be one of the childs of the Skywalkers.
Oh, I'm thinking differently.
Oh, after the show.
So, okay.
Save it for after
the show.
All right.
Okay, yeah, well, that 132. We're right within
not bad. We did good.
There.
We did good. We almost got this down to its sides.
Seriously, it only took us 23 times.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's run down the list. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, ring the bell, leave a review on iTunes, subscribe through your favorite podcasting app, subscribe to the new YouTube channel.
Sponsor
us.
Yeah.
I'd open up a Patreon, but that would just make me cry.
Yeah.
No.
Seeing what some people make on Patreon is painful.
It is very painful.
It is. So
that's it. 2 weeks from now, I don't see anything stopping us from having another show.
Checking the calendar.
2 weeks from now, we're going to be...
I literally live on my calendar.
Yeah, it's going to be a week before Memorial Day, so...
Yeah.
So, no,
that'll be perfect. I actually literally have nothing on that day. That's really great.
There we go. I got my mad dash at work to get to Memorial Day, so...
yes, of course.
The wife is taking Thursday off from work, to which I said, okay, you're coming to work with me. She's like, okay, I could get the exercise. I'm like, yes. So... That day,
get the push mower.
That day you stopped down and I was spraying the poison. That's what I'm doing with my wife. I'll make her up some backpacks and just put on a podcast, honey, and just spray some poison. I'll show you where to do it. Keep the grass from growing.
Finally found a way to get rid of her. Spray the poison, honey. Spray the poison.
And on that note,
yeah, we're gonna shut it down. We're
gonna shut it down. Jerry's gonna go get some, and I'm gonna think about killing my wife.
Oh, she went to bed with the kid already. That opportunity's gone.
Well, on that
I think
somber
she just did
note,
that for torture.
I think so. Okay, on that somber note, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Goodbye.